What is happening, traders? Today we're going to be covering stock ticker NIO, baby, giving you an update on the tactical analysis that we've talked about in our last video and a weekly close update. So looking at NEO stock as well as IWM. So if you guys are interested in that kind of thing, slap the subscribe button, stay the full length of the freaking video, and let's get straight into it, guys. Looking at NEO stock on the daily time frame, you can see you're taking a little peeky weeky outside of this falling wedge. Now, we've done it before, but you haven't really seen a bullish close like today, or mind you, Friday, right? Peaking outside of the wedge and closing green, bullish green, up 3% above the daily RSI band. It looks pretty nice for continuation here, guys, but you need to see the net volume continue to increase here. Now, you did see a net increase day over day, but it's still relatively flat when you look at the overall range, right? So you want to see this net volume continue to go higher, because if you do not see this thing peel out here and clear the local high of about 494, right? Yeah, 494. Clear that local high, guys, and you're most likely going to $5, right? And that's what you want for NEO stock. You want to see it begin to build these small wins, because small wins become big freaking bottoms, right? Because not only did we call out this kind of bottoming shape, right? Because you had a very similar structure here in the bottom, this bullish divergence on this bottom that we're watching very, very closely. And you saw this happen last time, right? Lower low, higher low. But then looking at the stock now, you've had one touch of bullish divergence on the daily time frame for NEO stock, in which you made a significantly lower low, but an equal to higher low on the RSI. Now, it found a very, very beautiful uptrend here that we have in resistance, or in support rather, and it begs the question, is this going to be your double bottom, right? Because you had a pretty beautiful double bottom structure here, and I'm noticing every single bottom on NEO, or most of them, come from double bottoms, right? Double bottom here, double bottom here. This is an Adam and Eve double bottom, which if you took the profit target, FYI, stick that on top of the neckline, that is your technical profit target for that run, which you tagged perfectly. You're now in a very similar situation, right? And you're trying to build out that right shoulder for NEO stock. Will it happen now? You need to see volume and price follow through this 494 area early next week, guys. And if you do that, it's looking pretty crispy, right? Looking pretty freaking good. If you don't, right, if you hesitate, it's likely you fall back into this falling wedge to retest this uptrend and potentially further into the wedge, right? This is max capitulation opportunity here for NEO, further into the wedge to make one more touch of bullish divergence, just like you did back here, right? Because everyone and their mother was like, we're going to the moon, we're going to the moon. And then you had one more pullback for one more touch of bullish divergence before sending this thing about 58% higher, right? So at least, traders, at least you have a runway of about 30% until you hit six freaking schmeckles, guys. $6 is going to be a absolutely insane area of support and resistance, because the further you zoom out and zoom out and zoom out here, guys, pay close attention, the further and closer you get to this downsloping resistance. And why is that so important, right? Last time you broke your macro downwards resistance on the stock, while in a shoulder head, right, shoulder formation, you saw a beautiful freaking move. And I'm not here to tell you guys that the exact same move is going to happen, because I am not, right? But I am here to tell you that the historical correlation in the setup is there, guys. It is absolutely there. And if you want to see these tendies up here from this technical profit target, which is the freaking inverted head and shoulders, right? Tip of the head to the neckline, stick that on top of the neckline wherever you break out, and that is theoretically about $20. Now, we mentioned on this stock before, we are very, very closely watching for a break back above 560 and a weekly close specifically Keep this in mind, 771, right? 771 is this horizontal resistance, and you literally closed at the peak of this rejection here, a penny away on the weekly time frame. There we go. You can see it wicks above, but it closes a penny under, guys. Close at 770. You, every single time, have closed above 771. You've seen a nice move, right? Close above 771, bam. Close above 771, bam. Close above 771, lift off. Right, and now you're in this unique opportunity in which you have this downsloping resistance that will only remain between this uptrend and this downtrend all the way into August of 2027. Now, that's a very long time away. I do not anticipate you get all the way there. But guys, this is going to come to a very explosive ending, in my opinion. And the correlation that I've used in the past, looking at stocks like BB, right? And I've partnered it side by side, but you can see just how similar this freaking stock looks, right? Look at your overall 2021 downtrend, break it, and you absolutely rip 300%, right? Pretty much the exact same setup as Neo, shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then you rip, go back to Neo, bam, bam, shoulder, head, shoulder. And now all we have to do, traders, is find your freaking bottom. And there's some good news in finding that bottom, guys. I want to go over two things specifically that is good news, and then we'll loop back into the short-term analysis, right? The first thing that's good news, IWM. If you guys have not watched my AMC video, I encourage you to do so because we're one family in this channel. But looking at IWM for you guys, for Neo holders, there's a couple different things that you've done that's significantly bullish here, and that is very good for Neo, right? IWM often runs or Neo often runs at the same exact time as IWM. You can see you had this falling wedge formation, you lost the uptrend, and then you freaking spring back into the uptrend, retest it, and now you're bouncing. This is very indicative of something that's about to have bullish continuation. And traders, not only have you done it on the price, but you've also done it on the RSI. So I'm watching and waiting for you to make one more touch up here right around 315, making another all-time high on IWM. Now, if that didn't get you excited, guys, this will. You've had your highest net close on IWM's weekly price ever this week, as you saw a bounce above the weekly 9-day EMA and a 3.5% weekly candle. This is super bullish, guys. This is absolutely huge. And you can see that the weekly MACD band is beginning to curl back up here for one final rally, potentially into that 315 zone. So a lot of technical correlation here that makes me believe that Neo stock on the short-term time frame, which is what we're looking at now, is going to find its bottom here, potentially on the short term. You have the 4-hour MACD crossing up, and you have a very, very good opportunity of the 9-day EMA about to cross on the 4-hour through the 50. We saw this. We know this. This is a very good short-term sign, right? Because if this happens, last time you saw it, you saw a 4% rally. Even if you see that now, guys, the reason why I'm saying, and I know I'm going quick here, I want you guys to pay attention. The reason I'm going so quick is because it's exciting, man. I'm genuinely excited for Neo stock. It's so criminally undervalued. Maybe not criminally, right? But it is so undervalued. Shout out to Neo Romania, posted this about their revenues, right? And the post goes over by broken stocks, not broken companies. And Neo right now is a broken stock. As you can see, the revenue in bar graph in the quarterly chart is absolutely exploding, guys. Revenue is up. Launch of the ET7 happened in 2022. Revenues have only risen, and year over year looks fan-freaking-tastic. Now, where are you, right? You're sitting currently at around $4 and your revenues are insane. So, revenue looks good. Stock, in my opinion, undervalued. You go to the weekly time frame, and of course, I'm not a financial advisor, But the weekly time frame, guys, the moment you've been waiting for, actually looks pretty decent, because although you closed lower on the week, which is never a fantastic thing, if you see this 4-hour MACD cross to the upside, which you have, and this 4-hour momentum cross come, which looks like it's going to happen, off of the breakout of this falling wedge, you can start to put together the puzzle pieces in which next week is green. And if that happens, guys, you're a freaking hair away from crossing the weekly RSI band, which has marked your bottom every single time. Right? So this yellow band down here, that's your weekly RSI band. You can see, and we've done it time and time again, looking at the bottoming on Neo stock, you crossed it right here. That was your 7% week, came back, you retested it, right? A throwback to it, and then you bounced 22.5%. I'll show you again. You cross it right here, June, your next week, an 11%, and then a 12%, and then a 12% a week, back to back to back, right? Another good example is here. Where are we? Bam, bam, bam. This is a freaking perfect example, right? Find your bottom, and then the next week, 24, 10%, consolidation, 23, and then a blow off top, right? So these are just 3 examples of how explosive this RSI band can be on the price if this is going to be your bottom. Now, there's no guarantee that it is, but one thing is for sure, I'm excited. IWM looks fantastic, and the setup is there, guys. Of course, there's always the opportunity here that we want to mirror the left shoulder and that Neo stock comes down to this freaking uptrend. That would be painful. It would suck, but 380 would be a fantastic freaking area to be if I'm a Neo shareholder. And my belief is, if it gets down here, institutions are going to absolutely panic buy the heck out of this thing and send it up much, much faster, because volatility is a friend that works both ways. Just as fast as you dip is just as fast as you can rip, guys. So I think that's what I got today for Neo stock. God bless each and every single one of you guys. Every single one of you guys. Hope you're having a stand-up freaking day. As always, traders, hit the subscribe button, like, yada, yada, yada. Do what you got to do to help the algorithm push Neo stock. And as always, guys, God bless you and your families. The best is yet to come. Peace. Woo.